SubLIMINAL, Chapter 1, August Crash. Frannie's eyes snap into sharp focus as soon as she spots the flares. Mist is rising from the motorway. No, that's smoke. As she shifts from computer-aided navigation to manual, she slows down to avoid collision with the 49 odd other cars in front of her, likely with drivers performing the same machinations. The smoke is thick and yellowish green. Quickly, she snaps the vents and windows tight. At the last moment, she remembers to snap shut the portal hatch over the moonroof. Hey, babe, gotta go. There's a hazard on the motorway. I don't know, some kind of crash, I guess. Later. As she navigates, dutifully obeys the detour, she realizes how her body aches for fresh air and sunshine. Her vitamin D levels must be off again. Damn it. She decides to drive a different course. She turns and veers west. The aging concrete and iron overpass might provide a good vantage point. Frannie puts on her hazard lights and slows down just before the overpass. There's a bit of a shoulder to dally on. The other line of vehicles continues heading north on a surface roadway. It's a bit conspicuous to stop here, but she has 2, maybe 3 minutes. Everyone on the ground is engaged with the crash. She can be a few minutes late to faculty meeting, but she doesn't want to miss all the coffee. Peering down, Frannie surveys the wreckage. Driver's side of the truck cab is crushed and pavement stained like a bruised plum. It becomes hard to see under the smoke. The container on the rear of the truck is pocked with convex dents. There's a greenish-brown ooze dripping into the ditch. The usually dry August ground looks like a swamp. Workers in hazmat suits push the ooze into the earth with blue squeegees on long handles. A helicopter looms overhead. Looks like somebody's already radioed for backup. It's bad, she types into her teletype device, but I'm safe. She hits send. The chopper seems to hover and the noise disturbs her. Even with the vehicle completely sealed, the roar of blade-cutting air at a fast pace is intrusive and overwhelming. As she flicks off the button cutting off the hazard, she begins to cruise slowly on. She continues to peer over the guardrail on her way past. What could the cargo be? Bowling balls? Heavy earth-moving machinery? Weapons? Frannie sucks her teeth as the thought occurs to her. Something is alive in there, trying to break out. That's what the convex pocks in the rear of the trailer are. Something strong and alive and pushing to get out. Not germ warfare or sports equipment, not heavy artillery. In the copter, a wingman in a khaki uniform extends his zoom lens to full and clicks several shots of Frannie's vintage cream-colored Cadillac, the taillights, the plate, and her russet curls flying out the lowered window. The Caddy's a retrofitted upgrade, probably reworked in the auto shops of Hamtramck. Wingman twists and keeps the shutter firing, capturing evidence. Wingman is a bot, but Frannie will never know that. The details come in first. This is the way bots gather information. Blue, cat-eye glasses, pale, long hands, coral, manicure with fake gems set in the ring finger, a black leather suitcase in the back. Human, female, service corps, civilian, mid-30s, practically ancient by today's human standards. Most opt for cryopreservation before 40 years. Before great cartilage stiffens, chemicals, the muscle, and sugars ingested begin the accumulation on the cardiac vessels before the brain starts to form sludgy piles of sticky bioplaque. 99.3 degrees Fahrenheit. The body temp of this specimen is warm, plenty hot enough. No sign of metabolic disease. Organ systems above average. The wingman bot notes on his teletype device. Track, specimen, record, data. Frannie travels west and then veers onto a 2-track road. Separated from the highway by a band of fast-growing pines, she can still monitor the scene on the right. The trees are fully flocked green and provide a visual respite from the chaos of the crash. This small road seems to be an artifact from earlier days. It is not lit, nor has it been coated with asphalt. In fact, it looks like it was an experiment in solar roadways. Steeling her nerves, she plods ahead. Random wafts of smoke billow in. in front of the caddy. This was Uncle Jack's car. Frannie remembers sitting in the Detroit attorney's office with her siblings. Jack Weaver's will was read by the slender attorney with a sharp nose. Her sister's hands fluttered nervously about. Frannie reaches out to hold them, trying fruitlessly to quiet them. Frannie gasps when the attorney, young, so young, and handsome, reads that Uncle Jack left the Cadillac to her, and the contents of his garage, and the contents of his photography studio. It's an odd choice. Her brother and elder sister are composed, cheerless. She was raised by Uncle Jack after her parents' accident. It's her sister, Philomena, she worries about. She lays her arm like a cardigan across Phil's shoulder. She rides the people mover back to Phil's apartment in the city. She makes tea and popcorn. She tucks Phil into her weighted blanket on the couch. They watch movies until Phil falls asleep. She kisses Phil on the forehead, messages her other sibs. Phil's home. I'm out. Your turn. Come on Monday. Hit send. Suddenly an animal darts into the old 2-track. Frannie swerves to avoid hitting it. Looking back, she thinks it was a deer. It seems too tall to be a whitetail. The head too big, almost flat in front. Frannie shakes her head as if to clear this confusion. Do deers have a snout, a muzzle? It's been a long time since she saw a deer up close. She thinks of the pub in Hamtramck where her brother works. The taxidermied animals that populate the walls, the peanut shells underfoot. A real good old boys joint. Yes, deers have a muzzle, so not a deer after all. The eyes, large and glossy, seem to beam right through her. Frannie pulls over. She opens the door and stands in the middle of the roadway, glancing to the woods. She finds herself fixed to the spot. No desire to move. School is miles away. Teachers are drinking the coffee, making the small talk. The faculty meeting will begin soon. Still, Frannie has no desire to move. In fact, she is devoid of thought, her mind racing like flashcards being flipped. Images of all kinds of eyes flick through her, a visual catalog of multi-species ophthalmology. Somewhere there is a memory of piranha. How still their bodies are, suspended in brackish water at the Belle Isle Aquarium. The fish eyes coordinate in the orchestral fugue of defensive status. The eyes open, pulsing, glossy, super sensitive, human-like, but anything but. More sickish smoke comes billowing west. The acrid smell forces her back into the vehicle. She comes into her body slowly and finds herself cold. She starts the engine and begins steering Uncle Jack's prize forward. She glances back to the woods, searching for those dark, compelling, intelligent eyes. When Frannie arrives at school, she encounters a gap. She pulls into her parking spot, climbs out of the vehicle, and stretches. She arrives at the faculty meeting before her performing arts report is due, slips in discreetly, and pours herself a cup of coffee. She performs convincingly, using both hands symmetrically, and references test scores on the upswing. The principal loves to hear about good test scores. All the students are to be professionally placed by age 22. Subpars may be completed or sent out west to ore mines. Frannie's goal is to help all of them find entertainment placements. Cairo dorms are the creepiest. And that is it for chapter 1. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I'm excited to acknowledge the help of my professors in getting through this Master of Arts course and my friends and family who've supported me. This manuscript is long, it's novel length, and it's complete, so I'll be looking to share it with the world. If you'd like to hear more about the speculative fiction world, where the USA has undergone a revolution and been reformed as NART, the National Alliance of Regional Territories, where climate change has continued to change our world, impacting not only the lifestyles of humans, but availability of food, wildlife, travel. Cars are not used very often in NART in 2035. Rather, maglev trains have taken over territories and people use those. Additionally, as you can probably tell from the narrative, human beings have different values at this time, and that could be referenced by the subpars may be completed or sent out west to the ore mines. Thank you for your attention to my reading.